Hi there, I'm Joy Fay, and I'm a life coach and author and entrepreneur. And over the last few weeks, I've had some very similar situations with clients, and I thought it would be very appropriate to actually talk a little bit about it. So it's from my course called New Beginnings, and some interesting things that I would like to discuss. Most people say to me, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where I am, what is it all about? And I say, well, the most important thing to ask you is, where are you going? Where is it that you want to be? Now, you're not serving anyone playing small. That's a lovely statement from Marianne Williamson, who's a great mentor of mine. And the challenge that we have is of limiting beliefs about what we think we can and we can't do. And the most important thing is to start thinking about shifting our focus. What are we focusing on? Where is your focus? Most of the time, we're thinking all kinds of interesting things, mostly negative. So how are your thoughts when you're thinking about what you're doing, about your business, about your work, about your relationships? How are you actually thinking about them? Most of us can tend to fall into identification with our own story. So if there's been a drama or if there's a situation, we can tend to run over that story time and time and time again. And therefore, we can't see a way out of it. So how do we change this story? How do we stop tending to focus on the problem and what's wrong and sort it out? Maybe it's time to think, what's right? What's going on that's right in your life? Maybe now's the time to change your focus of what's going right. That lovely question, most people say, oh my goodness, it's all going wrong. What if this all goes wrong? But immediately you change your state of being if you say to yourself, what if it all goes right? And you visualize the outcome of it being how you want to be. And I don't just mean think about it, I mean really spend time in as much detail as you possibly can, visualizing where you really, really want to be, with all the detail. So if you think about where you are now, say you gave yourself 3 months, and then 6 months, and then a year, to follow through. Really put yourself in the situation in 3 months. Now, do you want to be the same as you are today, or do you want things to change? So as you're visualizing it, you're actually incorporating that into your being, into your subconscious mind. And you make this your dominant frame. This is what you have to keep reminding yourself of when you go off onto a negative road, to bring yourself back into the positive, bring yourself into that feeling of, where am I going? Where do I want to be? You shift your focus so that vision stays absolutely clear in your mind. Worrying about what might go wrong, your fears, your doubts, all the rest of the things that go on. It's part of the human condition. We all know that. But we do have the capacity to change how we think about it. We have free will, after all. And it's our free will in our mind, in our soul, that we can say, actually, I don't choose to think about that. I choose to think about the positive, where I want to be, what my life is about. So we can change how we think about it, really and truly. So it also incorporates changing our approach, changing our attitude. Some people like to be in the mire, if you like, of complaining and, how difficult it is. And, most people's stories are about, it's so difficult, it's so difficult. Well, those words are just enforcing it's difficult. And if we look at the law of vibration, which a lot of people now are aware of, that like attracts like, it's a catalyst, it's a magnet, it's a magnetic force. So if you're continuously thinking in the negative of, it's going wrong, what if it all goes wrong, if I lose this and if I lose that, blah, blah, blah. If you change that force also changes, and you attract a different scenario to yourself because of that magnetism, because of that magnetic field of energy that we're living in. So if we exchange those negatives for the positives in our being, we can really start to see what happens to us in our life. Different things come out of the air. Miracles are there for the asking. If we allow them in, if we don't block them with the negatives. One of the things you can do, which is a great exercise, is to ask yourself, what are you good at? Rather than what are the things that you can't do, what are the things you can do? I think it's quite interesting if you got a piece of pen and paper and you wrote a list of maybe 5 things that you're really proud of, that you've achieved, because that again changes your state of being. It changes the negative to a positive. Sometimes I do assets and all the things that I've been great at and all the things that I'm not great at. And most of the time, the list of the assets is always longer than the list of the things that I'm not good at. So make a list of all the things that you're proud of, that you've achieved, that you feel good about, and keep that somewhere where you can see it. Because if you do that, it's a continuous reminder to stay in that positive frame of mind. So you're focusing on the things that you've achieved. You can then change your state of being, and then you change your vibration, you change the level of which you're operating. The like attracts like. Remember that. So if you're thinking negatively, what do you get? You get more of the negative. Conversely, if you're thinking of the positive, you're going to get more of the positive. You want to be as crystal clear as you possibly can of your intention and your goal. What kind of life do you want? What kind of job do you want? What kind of money do you want to make? What kind of relationships do you want? What kind of health you want? Be crystal clear. As a lovely exercise again, it's really interesting to write yourself a story of your ideal life. Put in it everything that you can think of that you really, really want to be and like to be. You put it out there, you sow the seed. Affirm that you've already got it. Keep it in the present tense. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I do have great relationships. All the things. It's in the present tense, because the subconscious doesn't know whether it's present tense or past tense. So put it in now in your mind. Ask yourself, what can I give? Not what can I take. What can I give? Not what can I get? So when you're doing your thing in your work, in your relationships, not what should I be having, or this isn't right because I'm not getting this, I'm not getting the attention I want, I'm not getting the money I want, I'm not valued. Again, that's creating more like on like, more you're not getting. Rather, what am I giving? What am I giving to these people? Give from your heart, and you know what? It always will come back. That lovely thing of karma. You're thinking in terms of adding value. Adding value to any situation that you find yourself in. One of my affirmations when I wake up in the morning is, how can I add value today? What can I do to help people around me, people I work with, my friends, my family, whoever it might be? What can I do to make a difference today? And if you start off the day with that, you allow the flow, you take away the blocks. So that should be your morning affirmation. How can I help people today? How can I help my friends, my family, my work colleagues, my clients? You know, it's really, really interesting. And then on going to sleep at night, when you've had this day, thank the day for everything it's given you, challenges and all, because your challenges make you grow, make you look at things differently. Thank whatever it is that's happened to you in that day for having all the things that have gone on. Because if you thank it, you don't resist it. The more you resist, the more the problem persists. So let's persist in positivity, because the more it will persist in positivity. So give thanks for all the love that you've received in the day. For anyone who said thank you to you, or that's wonderful, or you look great today, or I've really valued what you've done. Take it on board. You know, really be thankful for that love that's been shared. So, a few interesting tips there. Then finally, I want you to focus on your greatness, on your abilities, on your talents. You know, sometimes we forget about all that stuff, but actually focus on all the great things you can do, no matter how small or how big. Maybe, you know, you made a great meal. Maybe you let somebody out on the road that was trying to turn and you stopped and let them through. All those tiny little things actually add up to the big things. And those all add for the day that make you feel much better. Now, compare where you are now to where you were when you first started watching this video and see how you feel. Have you had a shift in feeling? Are you feeling a little better about how you can approach your day with more of a positive attitude and approach? Well, I hope so. Ask yourself, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Now, it's a good question, isn't it? What would you do? And that's something, again, you could write out. Write out your dreams and aspirations. Don't just sit there doing nothing about it. Actually get a pen and a paper and write out what it is that you would really do if you had all the money in the world, all the time in the world. You could do anything you wanted without failing. What would it be? It's a really good question. Now, I've got a little thing here on my computer, on the other computer. Change starts with you, but it doesn't start until you do. So you have to take some action. It's not just going to fall out of the sky. You need to take some action in order to make those changes. Change comes when your need turns into an absolute burning desire of a must. I must do this. You know, we're always moving towards the pleasurable things, but until it gets painful enough, we don't tend to make the change. So, instead of waiting for some drama to happen or something horrible to occur, actually be determined now to make the change. And then you'll be amazed what will happen. And as Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So, that's a few little tips from me and a few little things that we'll cover in the New Beginnings course. And I hope you have a fantastic day, and look forward to seeing you again soon. All the best. Bye.